At first, it was a joke, right? Does Google hate niche websites? People are saying this, but now I'm starting to wonder. Let's type in best online casinos. There's a lot of money behind this term. You can make a lot of money if you rank for this. Let's go past the sponsored links and look down here. We have Times Union and we have USA Today. Now let's do another search. The best pills for weight loss. We have sponsored, sponsored, sponsored. We have Mayo Clinic, and eventually we get to, yet again, Times Union. There are websites that seemingly can do no wrong. Let's call them Godmode websites. Google just says, yeah, whatever you put online is great. And that's a huge problem because you have niche websites, real websites with real authority. Sure, some of them stink. I get that. But a lot of them have real experience, real photos, yet they got smashed in the algorithm update. So let's talk about 3 things in this video. Why Google may be broken, what I think Google is up to from now into the future, and what we can do about it. What can we do to rank despite all of this madness right now? So let me ask you, do you think Google is broken, right? We're going to try to tease that apart right now. Comment below. So here are 7 parasite websites. What the heck is a parasite website? NDTV, they're saying Outlook India, Las Vegas Review. I'm not saying these are parasite websites. We're on a website, legit.com, and they're talking about this. What is a parasite website? It's where you hand them a lot of money. $15,000 say, and they will put together a blog post for you that should rank pretty darn high. There's websites, and I'm not saying Times Union is one of them, but this they do say is paid advertising content. And as you can see here, they're talking about highly lucrative things from gambling to crypto to Adderall to all these diet pills. And if you want to see how they rank, here's their Href. Scroll down. I mean, for this one here, Best Online Casinos ranks, I mean, they have 80,000 visitors per month to this. So now you start to understand it's kind of pay to play, right? Google search, organic search, kind of looks pay to play. So take that concept of these God mode websites that are seemingly infallible in the eyes of Google to this. Lily Ray says 10.6 million clicks to 0 overnight in less than 3 months. Just crazy. So in other words, someone posted this right here, an example of a niche website, right? Just look at this. I'll move my screen. Look at that. Humongous. I think that is a Portuguese website, so the MI is not a million, it's actually 1,000. But nonetheless, you've seen these charts. You've seen niche websites just get hammered. But what's interesting to me is Google responded. And they said if people want to share their sites, add into here or in the forums, happy to pass it on. So remember that. We're going to use that concept later in this video. And then they said, I guess this was today, so that was 3 days later, updating this, we have enough reports at this point. If we need more, we might create a form. And they said, look, we're not going to, our systems don't work that way. We're not going to help a particular website. We're not going to do that. Which leads us to the second part of this video. Let's put on our tinfoil hats for a second. What has Google done? What have they done recently? How did this happen? And what are they up to? I want to fly a scenario by you. Do you know what this is? This humongous 170-word document? This is Google's Search Evaluator Guideline, right? You've probably seen this in other videos. Let's say that Google recently was able to compile all the niche websites. How could it do that? Well, we use similar themes. There's whole communities that use a similar theme. Google could easily, just like it does with this, it teaches people to go and hear what is a good website, what is a bad website. Well, what if it was to say, these are niche websites, push it to an LLM or some sort of computer and say, what are the tendencies of a niche website? And let's target those. We don't want those on our search anymore. How far-fetched is that? I don't know. Is that too far-fetched? Does Google hate niche websites? Let me know in the comments. Now let's look into the future for a second. Let's say 20 years from now, when you are old and gray, right? Do you think Google will be the #1 search engine in the world? Because data might suggest that TikTok is going to eat their lunch, that Instagram is going to eat their lunch. So what Google is doing may have something to do with that. So have you seen this yet? The notes, this is a new experiment they're saying in Search Labs. This is very, very important. Pay attention to this. So Google just rolled out this thing right here. Let's let it roll. So they're typing in every type of frosting, right? Okay, we recognize this. Looks regular. Nice website. Cool. All right, scroll down a little bit. And then this is where it gets interesting. See, it says 80 notes. These are user-generated content pieces, just like Reddit, just like Quora. This is insane. Look at it. What does this look like? It looks like any other social media platform that the younger generation uses. So we need to consider this as we put Google into the context of like, what the heck is going on? But let's look at this. This is going to help us. The best roofers in Orlando. Type this into Google. So this is google.com. Constitutes like 95% of searches online. Right here, sponsored. Keep that in the back of your head. Keep going. Sponsored. Ads. How does Google make money? Ads. Do you remember a time when the Google Map Pack did not exist? Do you realize all of this is on top of a website? In other words, Janie Ruffin really doesn't have too much control of what users say on their Google My Business account. Google My Business is a layer on top of the internet. Google wants these layers on top of websites, on top of the internet. Why? Because they have control. And now we enter a very valuable part of this video. Realize this is all my opinion. It's informational purposes only, right? How to achieve top Google rankings with entities. This is by Eric Lancheris. I've never met Eric, but I read this thing and I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Very, very cool. You're going to like this. So the key Google rankings, Google's secret algorithm revealed. So because Google is in a huge lawsuit with the DOJ, the Department of Justice, they're required to hand over documents. And SEOs like me and you get to learn. And what Eric did, something very interesting, he was using the concept of entities to see if he could rank a particular article. And in this case, it's the pros and cons of dating, right? So he was able to strip out entities. And an entity is like a person, place, or thing as it relates to a keyword, what people type into Google. So he said locating relevant entities. He uses his tool, on-page AI, scan tool, awesome. And he was able to strip out things, strip it out. And then he said, I made the page. And can you check this out? This is what his page looked like. It's kind of similar to what like Kyle Roof did with a local business a while back. The pros and cons of dating me. That's what he wanted to rank for. And you can see like the middle part is like binary zeros and then some keywords or entities dispersed throughout. And guess what? It ranked. Within 24 hours, the website ranked on page 1 of Google. And then it gets pretty darn interesting. So the page instantly shot up to page 1, even briefly making an appearance at position number 1. And this next part is even more important. So check this out. So, of course, people came onto the page, right? It says unique page views 20, and they bounced. So they only spent like 13 seconds on the page, and they're out of here. It makes sense. It's all gibberish stuff, right? We scroll back up. I mean, this is worthless. They come here, they're like, this stinks, I'm out of here. So what does Google do? They do an adjustment. They know immediately, like, get these guys out of the search results. We thought they were good due to entities, right? But users, they track what the users are doing, and they're like, oh, it's going down in rankings. But then he pressed the issue a little bit more. He said he called up some buddies, and he said, look, check out the page, stay on there a while. So 56 people now, right? So about, 40 more people came onto the web page. And if we scroll down, it looks like Google then boosted the second adjustment. They boosted the rankings yet again. Based upon what? Based upon user engagement. So even with a crappy website that has nothing to do with anything, with entities input into specific locations, he was able to show Google off the bat, looks. It does a flyover of entities. Oh, we could probably batch this with these other articles. Let's test it. Let's see what users do. Okay, great. It looks like users like it now. Let's boost it higher. User engagement seems to be everything. And that's true for most of us, right? Engagement. Google's going to look at your niche website to see if people like it or not. Helpful content. I think that's why they're pressing into it. But it's not true for Godmode websites. Coming back to, is Google broke? Maybe, because Sports Illustrated, the subdirectory showcase up here, they can rank for pretty much anything they want. That's not true, not anything. But the best appetite suppressants and diet pills. Yet again, a huge money one. If I hover over here, I can look at the link. Is that paid? Is it not paid? I don't know. But there seems to be an uneven playing field for niche websites and Godmode websites. But okay, so there's an uneven ground. We get that. That's just life. What can we do about it? If you have a niche website, what can you do about it? What I've been doing about it, I finally formalized the concept, hybrid consensus ranking strategy. I'll have a link in the description. It goes over the exact process, right? It's a rinse and repeat thing that seems to be doing pretty darn well. And the idea kind of parlays off of what Eric was saying with entities. Show Google that you understand the entities. And an easy way to visualize that is if we were to Google the best bass fishing lures, right? We have to ignore all the sponsored links up here and scroll down. We have Wired to Fish, we have Outdoor Life, And we have one more past all this purchase intent stuff. We have Bass Fishing Resource Guide. What are these websites saying about, the best bass fishing lures? What do they agree upon? What are the differences of these articles? And then we get an idea of how to build out an SEO optimized article. And there it is. So let me know, do you think Google is broken? Do you think they hate niche websites? And more importantly, get on the newsletter, because that's where a real conversation can happen between me and you. And I hope you like this, and I'll see you on the next one.